If you enjoy these videos and like to support me, TE, and also get some behind the scenes content, please consider joining Patreon.
Oh, I didn't see that. It's me, Tom said it was nice. TE, welcome to Meathop Road and the edge of Grange Sands. I've noticed there's a bit of action going on down Meathop Road at the moment. A lot of movement, as you can see. They've rented a bit of space in the golf club, Meathop Golf Club, to put a few diggers and a few bit of loading bay actually, because today you've been moving lots of metal road up and down Meathop Road to the beach from the golf club, sort of the holding pen, and as you can see it's causing quite a lot of havoc. So come on, let's go and see what's going on. We're going to go down the seaward side to the Home Island crossing so we don't have to walk that way, and see what we can see with TE. Right, we're on the footbridge at the end of prom. JT Atkinson's behind us, and way down, right down the beach, I can see a yellow speck. Now this reminds me, it's very deja vu this is, of his furnace line falling into the sea with me, TE, what I did 5 years ago. So let me show you what's going on if I can zoom in enough. So you can just see there, there's a yellow speck of a JCB right down. So they've built, I think they're building a metal roadway right down to the river Winster. So we're going to have a walk down the beach to Home Island Crossing and see if we can get a better view of what they're up to. So this behind me is Southern Sea, and I mentioned this in my sinkhole video I did a few months back. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Now this is all silted up, and actually a lot of problem white floods on that side is to do with this, but anyway, that's a long story. We want to carry on and see where the sinkhole happened before, but then we'll get on to Home Island Crossing and see what they're really doing today. We're in late September, no we're not, we're in late August. It's nearly September and it's new activity in Grange Sands, so let's go and have a look. So behind us up here is where the sinkhole happened, where the class, well it didn't happen, the sinkhole happened further down there. Behind me is where the class 195 hit the wall behind us up here. And the only thing to survive was that signal. These are the new pipes where the sinkhole actually was. I should say you should be pumping 24/7, but they're not. Oh, check it out, telehandlers coming across. Oh look. Land Rover going to, that's the nephew of the island, that is. And there you go, here's the dumper coming over now with some metal road on. The telehandler's with it because he has to unload and load these dumpers. Look, and there's the second dumper coming across behind it. So it's causing quite a big problem. It has to spin right round to get round. Oh, and there's even a digger coming across as well. It's full operation at Home Island Crossing. It's they've got to get across before the train comes. But I bet they've rang up box and said we just got to come across. There's a couple of these diggers were delivered today. There was ones the other night, but some of these have appeared today. So look at that. That's proper a good view, that. Oh, and a power in the van. Right, we're not going to go any further because it's a bit of a work site. There's a lot of men around and there's no point going up with a camera. I'm not as cheeky as Steve and Cheatley would be up there and just like like that. But so we're going to leave it for and come back maybe in a bit when you're changing over from day staff to night staff. Well, no, the night shift, the Commodores, and we'll see what they're doing, because they're putting the road down. Like when they were cleaning all this banking to put the road down, when they did this furnace line falling into the sea. We'll go and have a look and see what they're doing. So this is the state of the little compound at the top of Meathop Golf Club. They've got some big hardcore rocking, big bits and little bits, and a big digger, and one of the dumpers what was doing all the metal roads. But obviously it might be used for all this hardcore, like reinforcement hardcore to go on the presumably banking. So down here, the other dumper's down there, the second dumper, and you've got a mini digger, and this appeared as well the other day. Well, look, they've got all the fire extinguishers and fire barrels there, and a little Jenny to power a big porter cabin where main man, boss man, can be in. And look, spilt kit, oil only. Look, they got to do all the health and safety down here. There you go, and there's Home Island Crossing driveway. So these bins over here aren't the porter cabins, these are Home Island's personal bins, because they've moved, because if I pan round here, now this gate here to the keen eye viewers is had a bit of a difference, and also the bins have moved what should be there in that verge. Now this gate, pre-sinkhole it got broke, they put a new one in, sinkhole people bent it and broke it again, but it was still the same gate. And now these lads have broke it even more, and the post what's in that verge there should be there, and they've put a big chain and padlock on it, so it's broke even more now. It's not the gate, it's the post what's gone. But I think it's these really wide dumpers they've got and diggers. I think it's wiped it out, or they've had to move it because the gate's not wide enough. And obviously the bins are in the way, so they've moved the bins next to the porter cabin. It's day 2 of this video. The other day we were down there watching everything come across this crossing. What's here? The Meathop Crossing, Home Island Crossing I should say. Home Island is down there, behind those gates. So we didn't come any further that day because it was a work site, and I didn't want to go on a work site, and it's a bit iffy around health and safety, also filming as well, so I didn't want to touch on that, so we just walked back. We thought we'd come on the weekend when they're not working. Now this is another good point, because they're not working on the weekend. There's loads of people in the groups about this job saying it's emergency work. It's all happening in Grange Sands, emergency this, emergency that, and blah blah blah. And it's on about 4 groups, they all say it, different people. Actually, if it was emergency, they'd be here today and they'd be here yesterday, and they're not. So it's not that emergency if they're not here. And also, they go, oh, there's 20-mile-an-hour speed limit between Grange and Arnside on this bit of track. And it's not the fact that the line's falling apart and there's a sinkhole appeared and that's apparently the emergency work. It's not, it's the fact that there's a heavy plant crossing over here. And this crossing, going back 50 years, has had problems of trains hitting cars and machinery. So in the 70s there's a great picture of a laundry van what got its rear end punted off by a train, and then 1st of March this year, 2025, a train hit a trailer here going across. So it's that sort of history on this crossing why the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit is on this bit of track at the moment. It's not because of this. But we're going to have a look at this because it's interesting. So down here, the last time we saw anything like this down here, and they had more steel roads actually, and it was steel roads from here right to the bottom, was when I did this furnace line falling into the sea. When they were redoing all the banking, all the like wall, what's the lower to the bit, like the embankment, they were redoing it and power washing it all and sort of repointing it all. And that's what they did 5 years ago, 2020. Now it's 2025. So this is the last time we saw that kind of activity, but this is a bit different this time. We're going to see what we can, it's a bit wet on foot, so we're going to see what we can see with TE and show you what the job in hand is and what they're doing, or what we think they're up to. So let's go and have a look. And also the good thing as well, you can't normally do this. Oh, wrong way. Gates open. go.
So we're just walking down now onto this side of Holm Island. So we're on like the Arn side of Holm Island. There's Arnside Viaduct. Bit focused there. And what we're walking towards the River Winster. Now they've got a couple more bit of plant stored down here. Another dumper. I didn't know they had 3 dumpers. No, 4 dumpers. I thought they just had 2, but they had so many trucks turning up the other day, I lost track what was being delivered. So they've got 2 more dumpers here, and we're going to try and walk down as far as we can, see what they were doing right down there.
So these things here, what my Somero golf umbrellas on, is the other night, it just happened we were going down Meathorpe, and there were base search and rescue there and with a few officials. And I think what they were doing is they were talking about what they can do and can't do and the health and safety of this bay, because it's a dangerous bay and everything, and where they can drive, so to speak. And I think they were putting these down as like the board of what you can run along, what you can't run over here. And since then they've put these white ones behind us down. Well, I think the main men have done. Now these are in here, if you don't know, and you don't really know, this wonderful landscape behind us is a triple SSI. Now this, you can't do anything on this. It's quite, it's just nature pretty much, and the sea comes in and that's your lot, but you can't go driving a big digger on it and damaging it. So they've left it to here. Now this has always been a farm track for the farmer and his sheep, so they've had to say no, you can't, you're allowed down there but you're really not allowed over this line. Now when 5 years ago when they did do work in here and they had a metal road right down here, what they haven't got, but they have had metal road, but I think it's for the bottom more than here, that's another, so we'll look at that later. They did have, I seem to remember, little fences, but not like this, a bit different to this. So we'll try and get to the bottom and see like the full ballpark.
So we're coming up to the end now. This on the other side of these diggers is the River Winster. So they've got a telehandler here, what's quite the main workhorse. It's been moving all the metal roads and moving everything you need. And then we've got 2 diggers up here. And something quite interesting now. This is what the metal road's been used for. And a bit of a TE theory, what could be right. And the old noggin. So there's 2 diggers here. A little one and a bit bigger one, I think. Well, they could be both same size. But we watched him carry all this down on the dumpers, metal road. Now I was talking about the used metal road from up at Holm Island 5 years ago down to here. But this year, the metal road's down here and it's going to the end of the Winster, what goes into the bay. Now the River Winster's over here, I'll just show you. And the River Winster's here, comes right down from the middle of the Lake District. And this is the sea gates, what they did a lot of work on the other side. There's big new gates on the other side of this, what they did a few years ago. Quite a few pounds were spent. But the other problem with it, because you know this water they can control and what they'd let out of there and whatever else, the biggest problem with the River Winster is what we could show you down there. We might actually walk down the metal road and show you what the problem is with the River Winster. You can see a closer detail.
Here we are, let's walk down the metal road. Quite good, it's like having your own red carpet on the bay, where you'd be falling down holes and trenches and getting wet feet doing this. But this is luxury.
So I can just I spy over there a class 156 just leaving Arnside, just about to go on to the Arnside viaducts, and as you can see it's going very, very slow all the way from Arnside to Grange. So there you go, you can see it's snail's pace. Okay. But that's a good view going over there that slow, and then when it comes up here we'll just film it coming past.
We've come to the end of the road on the Morecambe Bay, but I don't think it'd be the end of the road for any longer, because tomorrow, Monday, a work day, back to work tomorrow, I think they'll carry on building the road below us, a bit further along there. Now, the TE theory is quite right. It's not far off the truth, so to speak. I've quite got a good noggin on me, you know. Thinks very hard, but it works quite smart. Anyway, what they're doing is they are working on the River Winster. They've done the sea gates up there. Now it's time to work on the other end, where quite a lot of the problem is. And this is all stems back, if you go back and watch my sinkhole video, what happened on the furnace line and everything around it, what caused the sinkhole, and the much water and why it's flooding on the other side of the railway line at Meathorpe, is the River Winster is not flowing that well at this end, and there's several reasons. And what's happening down there? So right down here at the end of the River Winster, where fresh water meets seawater, and as we all know that's where the sinking sand happens. Fresh water and salt water doesn't really mix in that department. Well, anyway, we're digressing. This is the end of the River Winster. Now those rocks over there, the River Winster, as you see here, always used to run on the right side of it, right down till it got right in the bay. Now many years ago they punched a hole through those that big pile of rocks and walling, because they were scared. Well, they weren't scared, what they really wanted to do was the water to flow this way, so it would pull all the grass off and make it more sand rather than a big marsh. But it hasn't really worked. What's happened, it's backfired on them, and the River Winster has silted up massively, as you can see there. And now the River Winster's only flowing out through that gap and then down there and into the bay. So it's ended up being a log jam more than making any good for the marsh being sand again. So this problem is, it's when we're in heavy flood, and then when the season and there's back pressure, it's not really going anywhere. It's not really a big channel all the time. It's getting choked up. So I think what they're going to do, where I'm stood here now, they're going to carry on the metal road tomorrow, Monday, and this following week, first week of September, and they're going to maybe fill this channel in front of us with a bit of rock and stuff to get the diggers out, and I think they're going to dig it out. And you can actually see way down there the original end to the River Winster, where there's rocks on the right and rocks on the left. Now all those rocks and ballast we saw in Grange Golf Club is that rocks, I think, for the new walling for the right side. Some of it could be still underneath, you can see some of it here, but also I think it's also to help them get the diggers out there to dig it out. Just for a bit of clearer local knowledge, and so you get the picture of what we're talking about as well, is where the viaduct is up there, that is another river called the River Kent, what flows into the bay, and that also creates a lot of sinking sand around Arnside and Silverdale because of it. Now the River Kent has a very good habit of moving. It doesn't always flow down the bay the same pattern. It moves, it shifts like shifting sands. So I think the idea of punching this River Winster out into the River Kent is hopefully get it into the Kent before the Kent moves, because sometimes the Kent can be on the Morecambe side or the Silverdale or Arnside side of the bay, or sometimes it can be on our side, the Grange Sand side. Now it's in recent years the River Kent has flowed on our side and Grange Sands, and it's done a great deal of good for ripping out all the grass. Now in Grange, over there on the other side of the home island, there was a Grange Sand signal box, and there's some steps what go down onto the beach there, or the bay. And now you used to walk a long way out on the grass before you could see sand, but now it's heavily cut in because of the River Kent's moved. And also some rocks have been exposed more than previous years. So, we've come to the end of the road today, me, TE, but let's come back in a few more days' time when more work and progress has been made on this project on the bay. Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, give us a like and a subscribe and comment below, always comment below. But also if you'd like to see more me TE videos, I've been very busy filming the spa in Grange over Sands, and there's a host of other videos. I go up and down the country doing videos on me travels, but if you want to see local stuff, there is more local stuff. And also if you want a picture of what's actually going on and you want more behind the whole story of this flooding and why and the sinkholes and everything, go and watch my 45-minute special documentary on the sinkhole in Grange sands. I'll put it on the end of this video so you can find it. And also, there's a Patreon link if you'd like to support me, TE, coming out here so you don't have to. And also click that big bell. Ding!